because we do our practice on IDs. IDs are giving us so many suggestions, and that makes our life easy. But in the programming, when it is an online interview they are taking or offline, they will give you only notepad. I hope that you guys will religiously follow this, and in your interviews you will see the results. Okay, once we understand the conversion, then it will be helpful for us in our Java journey to proceed ahead. Okay.
Yeah, your screen is not visible, Prakash. Actually.
Okay, screen is not visible. Just give me a minute. I will stop and start sharing again. And in Java, we are given with few things that are called as the primitives, and these primitives are nothing but in your program you see this int kind of thing, this char kind of thing, right? This boolean. Okay, these are your primitives provided from the side of Java. Okay, apart from this, there is one very different primitive that Java has provided, which is an exception, in fact, which is your string. Clear? And these things like int, char, boolean, short, byte, whatever I've written, these all are also called as literals. Primitives or literals, they mean same thing. They are all one and same. Okay. Now, when we talk about a string is again already defined thing in Java, but it cannot be considered as a data type. It is rather considered, its behavior can be rather considered like an object. There can be conversions basis one. First can be the first type of conversion can be in the amongst the primitives only, like something is an int, right, and we want to convert it into say type byte. That can be one type of conversion amongst you can say themselves. I will say amongst themselves. So this kind of conversion can be considered as primitive to primitive type of conversion. Then there is the second one where it can be primitive to non-primitive, primitive to non-primitive, and again one other conversion can be primitive to objects, and when I say objects, we will see in further course like how it happens. And then there can be the conversions again in opposite directions. Like opposite direction, I mean if you can go from primitive to object, and vice versa should be possible, okay. So that is object to primitive, non-primitive to primitive, and primitive from int to double. Then you should also be able to go from double to int. Okay, this type of conversions will be the main thing that we are going to discuss. So there are a few shortcuts also I will take in main method. If you go and just do the control and space, and it starts giving you the suggestion. Okay, the suggestion is here. And similarly, if you go and you do your sysout, there you can see the suggestion comes by itself. Just press enter. Okay. Meanwhile, here you can do a control and D to remove the patches or lines in the Eclipse. Okay, so this is the control D, and this is the lines removal. Right? So these shortcuts will be helpful for you in your Java journey. Now coming back, see a very let me increase the font. Okay, see a very simple thing we will learn. If I write here int of x is equals to 50, okay, and I try to print it here, I try to print that x here, it is giving me certain kind of error, and it is not allowing me to do so. So one thing is a semicolon was missing. Now can you tell me why exactly it is not printing this x and giving me error?
It's outside the main method.
It's outside the main method. That's great. So Rahul, one way can be I print I just make it from here to here inside the main, and this error goes. But what if I want that still, if I'm writing it outside, still it should print? In that case, what do you think should be done?
So since if you want to use in a static method, I
Okay,
think we have to declare it static
yeah,
variable.
if I do it like if I do it like a static, okay, in that case it will print, in that case it will print. So here's one use of why static becomes important at times. I want to convert that int into double. So what I'm doing is simply I'm writing double of y, and that I'm declaring as it is equals to x. Okay, and now let's see if it is not there, what it is printing. If I do control of s, and now if I'm trying to print it, so Java application, and 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 it is printing 50. Basically it is printing the integer, but the moment I uncomment this, okay, and I try to print now, okay, run as Java application, still just taking 50. Now what I will do, I will take the value of y and I will try to print here. Now it is taking the double value from double to end, okay. That for doing that, similar fashion, I am taking another integer, that is z, and I am declaring that is equals to y, okay. And now I am trying to print, the integer z, okay. And now let's see what is happening. It is giving me certain kind of warning, okay. And this is where we must know how to do the conversion, because it is simply saying that there is a type mismatch and you are not allowed to do or change something from double to int, okay. Double to int conversion is not allowed. All right. Now very simple, this kind of program, like they can ask you this bit of code and they can ask you whether this code will compile or not. So any idea how we can do this conversion?
Yeah, by implementing double in close braces.
Okay. That's great, Rahul. That's great. If we,
Or else, yeah, typecasting.
yeah, yes. So okay, and let's see. I have done it. I have print here double in the brackets, but it's not working. Can I do it this way? Like could I do it like this way, something? Rather than going for double, Rahul, I am trying for int. This phenomena is called as your typecasting. Okay, this is a simple phenomenon of typecasting, wherein this is the first conversion where we try to convert from a primitive to primitive. Now there are two details in here, that if you want to convert from int to double, why it accepted, reason that this int is of 4 bytes and this double is of 8 bytes, okay. So from 4 to 8, like we already have, imagine it like we already have 8 and we want to convert something which is memory of 4 bytes, so that is possible. But if we want to convert from something like double, which is of 8 bytes, and we want to convert it to 4 bytes, so this makes no sense for Java. And to do that, you use this kind of thing that is called as your typecasting, okay. This is one thing. Now similar fashion, it happens in between all of these, okay. Now a simple thing, the most widely used, you can say, Java primitives will have your long, will have your float, will have your double, and have your int, okay. Now if you go from a lower to upper side, it is called as your widening, whereas you go from a 8-bit to your 4-byte kind of thing, then it becomes your narrowing. All right. All right. The concept of narrowing and widening, if they ask you, it is always related to typecasting, and it depends upon the memory only. Okay. Now one question that comes in interviews is, what is the difference between double and float?
Yeah, float takes decimal values up to certain limit,
Okay, great Rahul.
and double has also has some values like to the power -16 or something like that.
Okay, great. Vasudha, your views on this, decimal and double and float differences?
Yeah, like here the difference, like it 4 and the 8 bytes, like 4 float is of 4 and double 8.
Very
Here after point like a float accepts only 7 digits.
Mm-hmm. No, wow, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and double accepts 15 digits after the decimal point.
Very good, very good. That very nicely, and you have hit it to the point. Okay. We have to follow this hierarchy. Okay, this hierarchy is to follow when we are in the primitive to primitive kind of thing. So at that time we have the most used. So we have int on the lower side, and then we have the long, and after that we have floats, and we have the double after that. Okay, we have the double after that. Okay. Now from here only one question they ask you. They ask you that is Java a pure programming language? Sorry, a pure object-oriented language. Okay, so let's discuss this question, and the answer comes from here only. From the conversions only we can answer this question, that whether it is a pure object-oriented language or not. Yeah, please go ahead with your answers. That will be very good.
Actually, it's not a, I can say it's not a pure object-oriented programming language.
Wow, very nice, very nice. And if you can give us the reason, that will be very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what is the reason you are saying that it is not proper, you know, not an object-oriented programming language?
Yeah, because of this primitive data types.
Very true, very true. Yeah, Rahul, your views on this?
Sorry, I have no idea about that.
Okay, not an issue. So she told that already here we have discussed that there are certain primitives. Okay, this int, char, boolean, short, whatever you are saying, these are not basically objects. These are only the data types. Get it? In Java, we have a patch. Okay, 90% of Java is about considering that how things are into objects, but there is this remaining 10% where these literals come into the picture. These are not objects. Like if I want to show you here, this int is not an object. If I do this control and mouse over, nothing comes here, right? In place of this, if I am writing this integer, okay, and you can very easily find it in the java.lang package, we have an integer, okay, and if I try to do some declaration like say a new character or something like this, and if I want to go, like I'm doing a control and a mouse over, I go to the open declaration, and you find that okay, Java has given some kind of class to it and is trying to give you some objects kind of thing, getting? And that is one reason why we are not considering that Java is 100% object oriented programming. The reason is only the primitives. Now the thing is conversion from these primitives to the integer and coming back, and vice versa. By the way, what is the name of this concept? Anyone? Converting a primitive into integer, or any of the wrapper classes concept, if you guys are aware about it. If suppose we have int of some integer a, and that value is say 100, okay, that you have given 100, okay, and now you want to convert into a wrapper class. How should you do it? Okay, so the way to do it is directly mention your integer, okay, integer, and you can use one of the methods that is dot value of, okay, and just mention it here. And the moment you do control and 1, it asks you assign the statement to the new So here you can see it is coming directly in terms of integer. Now it is a kind of object. Okay, now it is a kind of object. So this new character conversion you have seen, what we have done here, we have taken an integer, or we have taken a data type, and we have tried to convert it into the wrapper classes. When I say wrapper classes, try to understand, we are considering it as an object. Now in a similar fashion, if we want to go back and convert ourselves into integer, what we can do? So for that particular scenario, we will take this AA, the object. This AA is now the object, and this AA dot, okay, and we have, you can see we can go anywhere. It's not necessary we go back to integer type only. We can go to bit value, we can go to int value, we can go to double value. Any of the primitives we can go back. So this is the method provided. If I want to go back to the int value, I will do like this, okay, and we'll have, okay, I'm pressing again the control 1 and I'm assigning, and you see it comes back, it goes to the integer wrapper class, and now just from the value it is coming back. So this is where you can see from wrapper back to int, wrapper back to int, like from non-primitives to primitives. I hope this is clear. Now one more question from my end. They might ask you, how can you access, like, what is the reason you can write here directly the integer? Integer is a class, right? And we have called a method. You can see we have called a method. So they can ask you, how can you can call this method here only from writing this integer? What can be your answer?
Yeah, can you please repeat once the question?
Okay, I'm saying this value of, we have called it by using the name of this class integer. We all know that integer is a class already provided in Java, right?
Yeah.
It's a wrapper class. So my question is, how can we call this value of method directly here with the help of this class name? What is the reason? Okay.
Why we are calling value or value method to the integer class?
Yeah, how we can call the value of method here directly by using this class name we are calling, right?
Yes.
The reason they might ask. So let me tell you the reason. If I go here into the integer, and if I go and check, the value of method, okay, so here you can see this method is static, all right, and if suppose in a class we have a method which is static in nature, and if we want to call that particular method, so we can directly use the class name. The only reason,
Yeah, right, sir.
yeah,
Otherwise, you have to call using an object.
Yeah, we have to make an object of it, and then we can call that. So here
Yeah.
it is the answer of one more question. What if suppose a method is non-static in nature and you have to call it? The only option we are left with is we have to make an object of it, and then only we can call. Clear? On the contrary, here is a very classic example that you can give if they ask you about static methods. So you can give this example.
Yes.
Okay. Suppose we have to do one more type of conversion in which I am trying to go from a primitive to strings. This is one more thing. I want to do one more conversion from primitive to string. So okay, so you can see the direct suggestion. Now it is your string. Clear? So here we have seen a simple conversion from you can say a primitive to string. Now if I want to go back, any idea which method we can use? I have this parse int kind of thing. I hope you guys are aware of this parse int method.
Yes.
Okay, so remember, when we look at this method, only in its parameters it is directly saying you pass a string. Always it is expecting a string. All right, and if I do control and a 1, okay, and I try to convert it, it directly converts. Clear? So in this we have seen from string it is getting converted into a data type. From string it is getting converted to a data type. Now anything that comes in your mind that is asked in interviews? Anyone here looking at this parsing int method? A very famous question they ask. Okay, it is giving me 1 2 3. Okay, now I am trying to give here say none. Okay, now how the output will change? So it has given me some number format exception. They might ask you that what is a number format exception, and like, can you give us some example? Okay, any other example that is in your mind for number format exception? Try.
Maybe using characters.
Maybe using
Specific
characters. Okay, so like if you want me if you want me to change something here, you can tell me now.
Or else, like if the string is empty.
Okay, the string is empty. Okay, let me do this way. I am making this string as empty. And will it do? Should I try now? Okay, I am trying it right run as Java application. All right. Okay. All right. I think it worked. Yeah, we have the number format exception. Okay, clear? So they keep on asking you this kind of example. So in the first half we have just seen few conversions and like few questions that they ask you here and there. They ask you about this wrapper classes. Okay, they ask you about like why Java is not object-oriented programming language fully 100%. So this is one part in the elementary that they ask, and we tried this. To answer this question, what is the difference between an abstract class and an interface?
Abstract class and interface.
Yeah, because this is a very popular question. You go for any of the interviews, after some time, after removing here, they are definitely going to ask this question.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
In interface, we can have abstract methods.
Okay, great, very nice.
And non-abstract methods too, like a default and static, like from Java 1.8 version.
Right. From Java 1.8 version, they have allowed. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And
abstract class can have constructors.
Okay, good. Yeah, abstract class is basically a class. Any class will have a constructor, so definitely abstract class can have constructor. Yeah, right, very good. And what about interfaces? Do they have constructors?
I think no.
Okay, Rahul, you want to add something here? The abstract class will have constructors. What about interfaces? Do interfaces have constructors?
No.
Okay. Anything else that you would like to add?
This is a mostly question asked in the interview when I have attended. Like I used to give the same answers. Like, is any other way to explore this question so that the interviewer can be?
Yes. See, let me tell you. A very common practice in Java interviews, if you would have found that the moment you start hitting 2-3 points, the interviewer every time will change the question.
Yeah.
Getting so whenever you promptly attain the question, the thing is without taking too much time, you should start answering for such questions at least. Okay, this is where and you have done it in a very proper way. Now they ask you to choose between an abstract class or interface, and they ask you which one would you prefer. Getting also my question you are getting, you might have made this kind of question in the interview. So at that time,
I didn't face this question, but it's a new question for me.
So they ask you this, that in a given scenario, if suppose that You have an abstract class, you have an interface. Which one you will use? So what will be your answer in that case? I think Rahul, you should also try to answer the same question. See,
Yeah, I would choose interface.
Yeah, very good. Why? And they ask you why.
Yeah, coming to interface, like as we mentioned, there is a default method which is there from 1.8. Suppose in some project, if we want to like expand some new features to it, so this default method could help us to add some.
Definitely. And one more thing,
Yeah.
Vasudha, why we are using interfaces in Java? What is the main reason why we are using?
So here, in order to hiding the implementation part.
Okay, that's one part that an abstract class can also do. But I feel that multiple inheritance we can achieve by interfaces. That we cannot do by the classes, be it any class or be it abstract class. So this is where there is an advantage for us. Getting?
Yeah, can you please repeat it again?
Yeah, I am saying that
what exactly?
Multiple inheritance. Do you know multiple inheritance?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we achieve that multiple inheritance with the use of abstract classes?
No.
Why? Because Java doesn't support that a child class can have more than one parent, right? Class.
Yeah.
But why we are using when we are using interfaces, it is possible one interface can extend more than one interface.
Yes.
Right? So here we are getting the extra power of multiple inheritance, okay? And that is why we will choose you can say interfaces over abstract classes. Getting? Okay.
Got my answer.
Okay, anyway, you guys are trying very well. Okay, Rahul, you would like to add something in this question because it is the most popular question asked.
Yeah, like in abstract classes, we have methods which are abstract and some methods which have like the function, the body.
Like non-abstract and abstract.
What has to be done. And in interfaces, well, you can see we have only the method signatures, like declared methods.
Correct. Very true. Now, Rahul, when you say this point, there is one question that comes from this. The question is, can we have an abstract class where all the methods that are provided are non-abstract?
No, it should have at least one abstract class, abstract method, then the class can be declared as an abstract class.
Okay. Vasudha, your answer?
Yeah, it's same like what Rahul said.
Okay. A few days back, I was giving one interview. I got the same question and I gave the same answer and the answer was wrong.
Wrong?
Yeah. Let me tell you what happens. See, for a class to be abstract, what they told me, I have not tried it on the IDE, but what they told me, for a class to be abstract, there is one more way that we can put an abstract keyword in front of the class. Then also that class can be declared as abstract.
No, can you please? Are you sharing the screen actually?
1 minute. For example, suppose here if I write here abstract, the class is now abstract.
So it means by default every method in this class is been abstract.
No, it doesn't mean so. It doesn't mean so. It's a tricky question in Java that they place it.
If it doesn't have any abstract method, then
yeah, you do not have an abstract method, but this is one way by which if I have a method, say M1 here, M1, and if I give it some say implementation, it hardly has any issue. Like it will work fine. And all right, now can you see this?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are now aware of this question from the interviews and how to answer this.
Still, a class can be an abstract class even if it doesn't have any abstract methods.
Exactly, and
We can say like we can declare a class abstract
Yeah.
without any abstract method, but it
Exactly.
not became an abstract class until unless you use any method on in any other class
All
itself.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and one more way to start like answering this question can be like both the cases we are actually using what abstraction we are using, right? In both the cases we are using abstraction. And what is abstraction, by the way? Anyone would like to try? This is also an interview question. What is an abstraction? If you will not speak, no one will know what you know.
Hiding the implementation of function part and just displaying the required result or output.
Very good, very good. So can you give some example of abstract class in your projects?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like ATM machines, where the like whatever the operations we are doing, what is the functionality behind it is hiding, and just to the operations are done.
All right. In your day-to-day life when you are working on any project or daily operations that you are doing, so at that time have you meet any like abstraction kind of thing have you done, like that way they can ask you. Okay, so you can say I have used interfaces like runnable I have used, callable I have used for multi-threading and all. So at that time we have used abstraction. Now see here, this is my point that I want to make. When you are trying to answer this question of interfaces and abstract class, one way can be when we are using abstract class, the amount of abstraction we are achieving is 0 to 100%. Okay, 0 to 100%. Getting? And when we are using the interfaces, the abstraction is how much? 100%. Makes sense?
Yes.
The thing that you are saying that this abstract class I am using, but this whole any of the methods are non abstract, it means that we have achieved how much abstraction? 0%.
Zero.
And that's why this point is made, whereas in case of interfaces we can achieve 100% abstraction. So that itself is it is the same point where it says that in case of abstract classes we can have non-abstract as well as abstracts, but here we have all the methods as abstracts. You guys know about like method overriding and overloading?
Yeah.
Okay, so would like to answer this in simple ways, and then we can have some counter questions in between if we find.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Method overloading, like a class which is having same methods with the different parameters, but not the return type. It should have the same return type, not the different return type. Like suppose class of some sample which is having a int of add some int a comma b of first method, and add of some int a comma int b comma int c.
Okay.
So this is called the method overloading. So a class is having same method name and parameters. So here we are having int of add, int of add. So here if we are in the second method or the first method, if you are trying to change some double of add, so it is not possible in method overloading.
Okay, so you are saying that the same method name and same
Parameter.
method and different or same parameters?
Different parameters.
Different parameters. Okay.
Yeah, that could be also fine. Like
yeah, so here data type I do not think it need to be same. It can be different.
yeah.
Okay. But the count can be different. So
Yeah, the number of arguments stored here.
Different parameters.
Same method name with different parameters in different orders or different order of data type.
Okay. Now my question is, can we overload the constructor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that is called as constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. So you might have done that example. Simple. I will change the name from void. I'm not write void here. I'll write it right here. B. Okay. And I will write here. Instead of that, I'll write it right here. Okay. And now you can see these are the overloaded constructors. Okay. Now one question. This main method we have. Can we overload this main method?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. No.
We cannot overload the main method.
Yeah, we can overload the main method because I faced this question in the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your
So
answer
as
at
we
that
are
time?
changing the arguments, so here in the main method we can change the arguments.
Correct.
Different arguments. Yeah.
A learning point for you here that we can definitely overload it. I have seen we can mark here instead of numblock is not working. 1 minute. I'm putting this tree and this args, and it should work. There is no problem here. There is no compilation or any other command. See here. So can the main method be overloaded? Obviously, yes, it can be. It can be overloaded. Can we override the main method?
No.
Okay, why? Why we cannot override the main
Yeah,
method?
like overriding means like here we apply with two classes.
Okay, there must be an either relationship when we are doing the override.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a relationship.
Correct. So for method overriding, we should have either relationship. Okay, good going. Yeah, but my question again remains same.
There can't be two main methods, no?
There can't be two main methods, but saying there is a parent-child relationship, and we basically do method overriding when there is a parent-child relationship, right? We have two classes. The same method is used in class A. The same method we are trying to use in class B, okay? And they have a parent-child relationship, like B extends A, right? B is the subclass, A is the main. So in that case, if we are using, can we override? That way she is asking. In a different class, can it be override? So my answer for such question is, see, because my main method is a static method and static methods cannot be overridden, so main method cannot be overridden. Clear with it?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Right?
Yeah.
Our static methods cannot be overridden, and because my main method is a static method, so we cannot override the main method. So this is how you support your argument here. Okay?
Yeah.
So alright,
Yeah.
we end up the meeting, and definitely we will meet hopefully next Saturday, or might be tomorrow, Sunday, if you guys are okay with it. Meanwhile, this is the link, this is a permanent link. Anytime you will say, I will open up this link for you for any discussion on any program or anything. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, thank you so much, Vasudha and Rahul, to be with me, and I hope you learned few new things. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Prakash.